Why, hello, beginning band saxophone players. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are staying sane out there and doing the best you can with all your schoolwork. And so, what I decided to do was make some videos for you guys. And here's the first beginning band saxophone lesson. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through a bunch of stuff. And what I want you to do is try and make sure that you just do the best you can. There's a lot of stuff going on in your lives. I realize that. Try and find 10 minutes of a day, every day, to just do some playing. If you can do every day, great. If you can do every other day, great. If you can do every third day, great. Just do whatever you can. Try and keep playing as much as possible, and then the saxophone becomes easier. So, what we're going to do first is I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm going to go through a couple of things that hopefully you're going to be able to deal with. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some long tones first, and then we're going to go through a scale, which I'm going to teach you. And then I'm going to go through an exercise in your book, the red book that we all have, the Traditions of Excellence that you guys all have. And then we're going to go through, the Ballet of the Dinosaur Hatchlings. We're going to go through a little bit of that. So what I'm going to start off with, as I said before, is a long tone. And a long tone is just that. You're going to take your note that we're going to play, and we're going to start with the note G, because we all know that's super easy. And we're going to play that note as long as possible. Now we're going to put our feet flat on the ground. We're going to sit up straight. We're going to keep our hands in front of the keys in the right way, right? You don't want to have your hands too far away when you're doing this. Keep your hands as close as possible. And we're going to play a note, and we're going to play it as long as possible, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start with this first long tone. Oh, by the way, the long tone, we're going to play this long tone on the note G, which is 1, 2, 3. And we're going to play it as long as we can. And we're going to do that 3 times. We want to get a nice, good, long sound. So here's the first long tone on the note G. Watch, my cheeks aren't puffing. My face is as flat as possible. I have about half of the mouthpiece in my face, like that. So when I play, I have about half of it on there. Okay, feet flat on the ground, sitting up straight. Here we go. Here's the first G. Ready? Go. Good. Try and play it with me as long as you can. As long as that note you can hold out. Here's the second one. Ready? Good. Make sure your note is nice and long, it's loud, and it's even, right? Even means that the note isn't going up and down, la, 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 la. We just want ba, straight, even note. All right, so here's our third long tone on the note G. Ready? See, that a little too hard. That's why I kind of went up in the up register there. So those were our 3 on the note G. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to play a long tone, but we're going to play it on the note D, right? D is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and your thumb on the octave key, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and your thumb on the octave key. Do we understand? Hopefully we do. I know you guys all know this. So here's the note D. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to play 3 of them. Here's the first long tone on the note D. Ready? Do another one. Number 2. All right, now here's our last long tone. It's on the note D. Ready? All right, very good, everybody. Hope you guys got that. So try and play along with me. Rewind the video and play along with me and see if you can get that stuff to sound good. Try and match my pitch. That is like the way that I'm playing it. We won't get into that too much. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to play a scale. And that's our concert B-flat scale. And we've kind of gone through at least 5 of the notes. And so we're going to go through the next 2 notes at the same time. We're going to make our scale, right? So the names of the B-flat major scale are G, A, B, C, second finger, D. Now we've done all those. D is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. E, and this is with the octave key. All of the after D is with the octave key. So here's D. E is with the octave key. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. F sharp, second finger on your right hand. 1, so it's 1, 2, 3. Second finger, right? And then high G, right? So low G is without the octave key. And then A, B, C are no octave key. Then when we play D, we press the octave key down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, E, F sharp, G. So if you're doing it right, it'll sound like this. You can also look at the front of your books, and they will also tell you the names of these notes and how to finger them. All the fingerings are in the front of the book, as we've done before. So here's G. I'm going to try and hold the saxophone up so you can kind of see my fingers a little bit. Here's G. A, B, C. Now with the octave key, here's D, E, F sharp, high G. All right. Now, what you should also remember about this is that I don't keep my hands flying off the keys when I play. I want to keep them close. I did it that time so that you could kind of see what those fingerings are, and I want you to be able to get that. So now I'm going to play it again, but this time I'm going to play it. I'm going to stand up so you can kind of see my hands. But when I do this, I'm going to play it really fast, and you're going to see how close my hands stay to the keys. Right? So it'll look like this. My hands are really close. So when you're practicing it, practice it slow, but practice it with your hands really close. So watch. All right. And then you go down. But I just was demonstrating hand stuff. Okay. So that is our concert B-flat major scale. And now try and play that with me. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look into our books. That's the Tradition of Excellence books. And we're going to start on page 11. And we're going to play the exercise number 37. It's called two-step. And what we're going to do is we're going to play. I'm going to go through every measure with you, and then we're going to play it. Okay? And I'm going to put a metronome on so that we can kind of play this together, and you'll be able to play it with me, or with the video at least. So, if you look at our song, two-step is number 37 on page 11. And our first note, if we notice, the key signature has an F sharp in there. You see the little sharp at the top of the page. That means that every F is F sharp. And if you look at the second measure, that's what it says. It says F sharp. F sharp is your second finger F. Okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 2. Now this note does not, let me say it again, does not use the octave key. And the reason it doesn't is because if you look at measure 2 of the two-step, you'll see that it's low on the staff. It's on the F space, right? That low note means that there's no octave key. We don't want to have a high note there. We want a low note. So the difference between those two notes is the octave key. The high note is with the octave key, and the low note is without the octave key. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to play those two measures. And we have 2 quarter notes on G and a half note on F sharp. So that should be super easy. So I'm going to turn my metronome on right now. Slow it down a little bit. Yeah. And so now the metronome is going to count for us. Every time it clicks is one beat. So watch this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how it works. If you look at your time signature, the time signature are those two little numbers at the beginning of the song. It says 2, 4. And what that means is that there are 2 beats in a measure and a quarter note gets 1 beat. So every measure has 2 beats in it, not 4. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to play G, G, F sharp for 2. Super easy. So here we go. Here's the first 2 measures. Try and play it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Super easy. Remember to tongue the notes. Remember to keep your cheeks in. Don't puff your cheeks out, right? We don't want that. We want, right, really kind of keep your cheeks in so you don't want the air hitting your cheeks. All right, so the next 2 measures, measures 3 and 4, now we have G, A, B, rest. Super easy. But there's one thing I want you to notice in there, and that's there's a little line underneath the notes G and A. And what that means is you don't, it's called a slur. You don't tongue the A. So that line is a slur. And that slur means you connect the 2 notes, the G and the A, but you don't tongue the A, right? So if I'm playing that, here's G, A. I'm just going to play those 2 notes. Ready? Go. Notice how I tongued the G, but I didn't tongue the A. Now the next measure has a B in it, and it's not slurred. There's no line crossing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tongue that note. So now what I have is, here's measures 3 and 4. I'm going to play G, A, B. And I'm not going to tongue the A. So listen, ready? Go. Rest. And if you look at the second beat of that measure, it's a rest. So we play G, A, B, rest. And we don't tongue the A. All right? So I'm going to play those 4 measures now. Try and play it with me. I'm going to play measures 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Super easy, right? Take your time with it. Slow it down. Make sure you're getting every single note. Keep your hands together. Good job, everybody. All right. So now we're going to look at the next 2 measures. And the next 2 measures, we have 4 notes. Each one is a quarter note, so 1 beat. Every time the metronome clicks, you're going to play 1 beat, right? So it's going to be C, B, A, G. And if you look at the slur markings in measure 5, we are not going to tongue the B. So we're going to go C, B, A, G. And we're not going to tongue the B. Every other note gets tongued. So if I'm playing it right, C, B, A, G. But now when I'm playing, I'm going to keep my hands close. C, B, A, G. So here's measures 5 and 6. Listen. And try and play it with me. 1, 2, C, go. Okay, I'm going to play it again. C, B, A, G, really slow. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, super easy. Now I'm going to stop the metronome for a minute because I want to talk about the next measure. If you look at the end of measure 6, what you will notice is that G in the end of measure 6 is slurred, it looks like, into the G in measure 7. Well, when 2 notes are the same, like the G to the G, we don't call that line a slur. Now we call it a tie. Because what it's doing is it's connecting, it's adding the rhythm together. So the G on beat 2 in measure 6, the G on beat 2 in measure 6 is tied to the G in measure 7. And what that means is we don't tongue that note. Okay, so we just don't tongue the first beat in measure 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play measure 6 and measure 7. Incidentally, measure 7, the last note in measure 7 is an F sharp. So measure 6 is going to be A, G tied over F sharp. G, A tied over, A, G tied over F sharp. That's how that's going to work. Now, I'm not going to tongue the second G, but it's still there. And if you listen to the metronome, you'll hear that that click will be on beat 1. So it'll be A, G, F sharp. A, G for 2, F sharp. Okay? So I'm going to play it now. Actually, yeah, I'm going to play it now. Here we go. This is measure 6 and then measure 7. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, I hope you guys all heard that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the last measure, which is just G for 2 beats. Super easy. Ready, go. That's it. All right, that's the whole song. If you look at the end of the song now, you'll notice that there's a little apostrophe at the top of the last measure. That means take a breath. And the reason you're taking a breath at the end of the song is it's not really over. The reason it's not really over is if you look at the last thing in that measure, you'll see 2 lines and 2 dots. And that's called a repeat sign. And that repeat sign means we repeat all the way back to the beginning. So if you're doing this right, you're going to play measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go back to 1 and play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. So if you take a breath at the end of the first measure 8, it'll make sense, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this entire song both times, okay? Try and play it with me. Listen to me do it first, then rewind it and play it with me. Ready? Here we go. So here we go. 1, 2, beginning, go. Rest. Breath. Rest. All right. Good job, everyone. I hope you guys made it through that. If not, just keep practicing until you get it. It's easy. You'll be able to do it. It's not that big a deal. So, nice job with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second and we're going to play a little bit of Ballet of the Dinosaur Hatchlings. By the way, if you don't have your music, if you don't have a book, if you don't have reeds, do the best you can. Try and do the long tones. Try and do the scale. Do the best that you can. All right? It's all going to work itself out, and we're going to all be able to play this stuff together and have a good time. So, moving my thing over here. So, we're going to play the first couple of measures of Dinosaur Hatchlings. And what we're going to do is we're going to start at measure 1, and we're going to go all the way through until measure 9. All right? And we've kind of played this a whole bunch, so I'm not too concerned about it. So, I'm going to take this a little bit faster. So remember, now every measure has 4 beats in it. So this is going to be 1, rest, 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 4, 1, right? So we have C, rest, 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 rest. E, A, rest, 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 rest. E, A, rest, rest. E, A, rest, rest. E, A for 2, C for 2, E, D, C, B, A, 2, 3, right? And then we rest. That's the whole thing. I'm not going to work on this too much because I know we kind of know this already, but it'll be good review. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4, ready, and go. 2, 3, 4, ready, and go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest. Okay, so that's basically how that part of it works, and you should try and play it up to that speed. If you can get it up to that tempo, that'll be great. I'm going to slow down the next section because it's a little harder, and we haven't worked on it as much. So, all right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to learn and work on 13 to 21. I know I didn't really work too much on the beginning of that, but you guys pretty much know it. So if you look at measures 8 and 9, what you will notice is that 13 and 14 are basically the same thing as that, right? The only difference is that instead of playing a dotted half note in measure 9 for 3 beats, you're going to play in measure 14 an A for 2 beats and then another A for the 3rd beat. So in measure 9, we have, ready, go. Rest. And in measure 14, we have rest. So it's essentially the same thing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play measures 13 and 14. Ready? Here we go. Here's 13 and 14. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Now, if you notice, measures 15 and 16 are exactly the same as measures 13 and 14. So you don't really have to work that hard. You just do exactly the same thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play measures 13 and 14 and then 15 and 16. Okay? Here's 13 to 16. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest. Now, while you're doing that, remember to sit up straight. Remember to keep your feet flat on the ground. Remember to keep your hands in the right place. And remember to keep your cheeks nice and inside. Don't let them puff out, okay? Good. So now, let's look at measure 17 and 18. In measure 17, we have 4 notes, just 4 quarter notes. And we have actually the same rhythm as 13 and 15, right? So it's just 13 and 14 has the same rhythm as 15 and 16, has the same rhythm as 17 and 18. And what that means is we have 4 quarter notes, and then we have a half note and a quarter note. So what we're going to start with is measure 17. And what we have is I'm going to say the notes while the metronome's going on. So listen, I'll do it. Here we go. Ready, go. D, E, D, C, B for 2, B, rest. Super easy. So if I'm playing that, keeping my feet flat on the ground, sitting up straight, taking a nice deep breath, keeping your cheeks in, here we go. Here's measure 17. It's going to be D, E, D, C, B for 2, B. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to say the notes, and I'm going to put my fingers down while I'm saying it. So if you look carefully, I'm going to move my hands over so that you can kind of see what's up. So here's how it's going to work. Ready? So when I get to measure 17, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to practice by going D, E, D, C, B for 2, B, rest. Now, if I can do that with my fingers, then when I start playing it, I'm already ahead of the game because now my mouth isn't even involved. Now all I have to do is tongue the notes and blow air, and I should be fine. So here we go. Here's measure 17 and 18. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. And if you look at measure 18, there's a little arrow kind of above the note B. And that arrow is called an accent. And what that means is you play it louder. So B for 2, B, rest. That's what it means, okay? Now, let's do measure 19. 19 and 20, same kind of thing. It's not the same exact notes, but it's a similar rhythm. So what we have is E, D, C, D, E for 2, E, rest. And so here we go. I'm going to play that now. I'm going to finger it first. Here we go. Watch this. So we have E, D, C, D, E for 2, E, rest. Now I'm going to play it. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Okay? That's how it works. Now, if you notice, we've made it to measure 21. And for next week, what I want you to do, or for the next time I see you, I want you to just kind of keep practicing this. Keep working on it. You know, the more you do this, the better it's going to feel to you, but the easier it's going to be for you. And if you notice, 21 and 22, 23 and 24 are the same as 13 and 16. So we've already got that together, right? Keep playing through this. Go online and find some interesting saxophone players. See if you can play some of that stuff. See if you can find some beginning lessons. But you guys did a really good job. I miss you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys hopefully in a couple weeks, but who knows what's going to happen. And I'll try and send out as many of these as possible. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you just keep playing. And remember, just do the best you can. Just the more you play, the better it's going to be. So just do everything you can to be as strong as you can with this stuff and as consistent, and you're going to be fine. Okay, keep playing a little bit. All right, see you guys. Take it easy. Bye bye.